Welcome to Leaders Legacy. I'm your host, Varsha Sarkar, and our guest for today is Madhura Kulkarni, who is the head of marketing for a reputed IT giant. Welcome to our show, Madhura.
Thank you so much for having me here, Varsha.
Madhura has over 18 years of experience in marketing, and our topic for discussion today is lifecycle marketing strategies for engaging customers at every stage. Madhura, I wanted to start off with in your career, how do you approach understanding and mapping the customer journey? And do you use specific tools or methods to create comprehensive customer personas?
Sure. So my answer to this would have been really different if I was from a B2C space because there's a lot to play around with customer profiling and stuff like that when you're actually working in a B2C space. But personally, if you ask me, I've been working in a B2B area where, predominantly I've been working in product marketing.
Okay.
So, when it comes to product marketing, you already typically know who your, target customer is.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really have to do much of profiling here. So just to give you an example, say for example, if I'm working for a niche software that is into, compliances for accounting, I know that the target audience is going to be somebody like a chartered accountant or a CFO.
Right.
But because you asked, the first step is always going to be to identify the capability of your solution.
Mm-hmm.
So, you should know whether your platform is or product is going to be able to serve in a certain geography. What if like you're selling somewhere in Europe, but you know that from compliance's point of view, your platform is not prepared for the compliance needs is somewhere in Europe. So that is the first step. That is to identify, what are your platform strengths and capabilities. And then, every company has its own strategy. Say for example, bigger larger companies like Oracle or SAPs, they could not directly reach out to customers. They may have like their partnership networks that they operate via.
Mm-hmm.
So in this such cases, then your customers are actually, partners. You're now hunting for partners. So the profiling can really alter, basically the strategies is what is going to help you in designing your, identifying your, end customers. And next, another important aspect is going to be, of course, data analytics.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, some data analytics could, help you figure out which industry is experiencing maximum adoption of the products that you're catering to. You have all sorts of data banks that are available today. Analyst research reports are available at our disposal. Everest and Foresters of the world, they list out, who are the key players and what is the industry adoption for certain products and platforms. So
Mm-hmm.
once you're, equipped with the knowledge and capabilities of your product, you have your strategies designed, which industry you're catering to, where you have to invest your efforts. Next step is of course to become visible and meet your prospects. And then of course you have your top of the funnel activities, like typical email campaigns. You'll be running your social media posts, paid campaigns, and targeted advertising, and so much more. I mean, their avenues are endless. And
Yeah.
luckily for us, we are working in an era of AI, right? So
Yes.
things like geofencing, you have some customer walk in your periphery and they're triggered with a message. So you have n number of things that are at your disposal today. You have bots that will automatically, cater to a request. If someone is looking for an information that is relevant to your platform, that bot will auto trigger a message responding
Mm-hmm.
immediately. So that immediacy was initially missing, but with AI, there are miracles that really work with.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But where we see maximum engagement is in a ecosystem that brings people together
Mm.
of similar interests. Something what you are doing, like online communities and
Yes.
forums,
Yeah.
where you're creating a pool of people which are sharing common interests. And I'll give you an excellent example of this. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
in my work pursuit, I used to work for a life sciences platform before, which
Mm-hmm.
was catering to decentralized trials. Okay. And
Okay.
there is a forum called Decentralized Trials Research and Alliances, or also called as DTRA.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of leaders from this forum, Craig Lipset and Amit Kalali, they would go all out and bring people together from the industry, and the vendors. And they podcast and everything is good, but two-way communication is missing. So they had
Mm,
very nicely addressed this issue, so there are audio podcast channels. I don't know if you've heard of Clubhouse.
of
So
course.
so it's like a social media platform where you interact using only your audio. So you will have your profile and everything, and but you will not be visible, but you will be heard.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
they would have forums every week where they would bring in industry and domain experts, and
Mm-hmm.
people from vendor industries like ours, and they would have interactions there. So
Right.
they kind of created a perfect platform where one can not only get the pulse of the industry to understand
Mm-hmm.
what are the key pain areas that the domain is experiencing, or create an awareness of what we are offering as a vendor. So
Right.
such communities really help more than anything, more than your emails, more than any kind of thought leadership artifacts. People connection is the most important.
Yeah.
um, yeah, so such engagements, it also helps you to fine tune your communication. So when
Right.
you're communicating, you understand what the industry is looking for. So when you're writing your email campaigns or running your social media campaigns, you know what the industry is looking for, if I make
Yes.
sense.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, the customer journey is never going to be static, right?
Yes.
So one thing that works today may not necessarily work tomorrow. So it will keep on evolving. So
Yeah.
tomorrow maybe we'll have metaverse and experiential marketing where you get to touch and feel a platform where you will
Mm-hmm.
have avatars and you're virtually meeting.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see. Time will tell.
Definitely. So, Madhura, can you share a few examples of successful life cycle marketing campaigns that you have run, which focused on specific stages of the customer journey?
So I have a very boring answer for you, and I also don't want to get pompous here, but we were talking about the funnel, right? So
Yeah.
it's always going to be tofu, mofu, and wofu.
Mm-hmm.
So our attention spans, are drastically decreased.
Yeah.
So we are constantly scrolling,
Yeah. And with the
and
coming of TikTok, it has really reduced.
absolutely, absolutely. Not just that, you have your YouTube shorts and
Yeah.
Instagram reels. So that is really done damage to our attention span.
Mm,
And of course, reading is out of question today.
of course.
So when you're running something like a LinkedIn campaign and there's so many ads, so many posts that are there, you don't want to be scrolled past. So
Mm,
make good use of infographics, catchy images, gifs, videos. That has really worked wonder for us. Like one of the campaigns that we've done, we had created messaging to address the pain points of our customers, and we
mm.
had used 3D animations and stuff, and we actually got a CTR of 3.4, which is massive.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
absolutely. So another thing that I really learned from my experience, Varsha, is that people don't like salesy content. They
Mm-hmm.
prefer for you to come straight to the point. So if you're using some tools like sales navigators and stuff, it's very very important that you come straight to the point and no nonsense. Just tell them matter of fact why you're getting in touch with this person,
Yeah.
and it really helps in getting good quality SQLs in my
Mm-hmm.
experience. And then of course, I mean, for continuous engagement, you will have your email campaigns, newsletters,
Yeah.
webinars. Webinars have been really helpful for us in terms of like converting our prospects into
Mm.
customers. So webinars
Right.
definitely, because it's the highest engagement that you can give. And with webinars, you cannot just stop at okay, these are the questions that I'm giving, but these are also,
Mm.
if you need any support beyond those questions, we are willing to give you even the answers for those questions. So that
Yeah.
is, yeah. So what kind of service you're giving to your customer in terms of marketing also helps. And
Right.
then of course, for bigger companies like ours, cross selling works for us because we already have a huge customer database. So we
Mm-hmm.
don't see any point in reaching out to somebody who's already engaged with us. So we do a lot of cross selling using road shows and internal marketing campaigns, email campaigns and stuff.
Right.
And then being evaluated by analysts has also helped us big time. Like we have been ranked as leaders by the IDCs of the world and Everests. So that kind of helps to build you the credibility. So being
Right.
evaluated by analysts is very very important for us. And then of course being participating in awards. being standing neck to neck with your competitors and then winning
Yeah.
it definitely helps. And customer advocacy programs through PRs, your customer testimonial videos, case
Hmm.
study publications, sometimes publishing joint thought leadership artifacts, that also helps.
Right.
So yeah, so I think it's there's no thumb rule to what works and what doesn't. It's a combination and experimentation of multiple things.
Definitely.
That is really work for us. Multiple things working together
That's
in
excellent. Yeah.
harmony. Yeah.
So we know that we are kind of living in a world of personalization. Everybody wants a content that speaks for them. So in this age, how do you tailor communication and offerings to individual customers at different stages of their buyer's journey? What's the process that goes behind it?
Sure. So absolutely, personalization is important. I mean, definitely. I mean, we are living in a world where even medicines are now like, precision medicines, where,
Yeah.
medicines are designed specially only for you. So
Hmm.
at the cost of not sounding stupid, simple things like addressing a prospect by their name instead of
Hmm.
like, having a common address, referencing to interactions in the past, offering relevant recommendations based on their interests and behaviors. So that helps. So, for example, I'll tell you, like, once I was interacting with a prospect and I noticed that the person had posted some picture on a hillside with his bicycle, and I started engaging with this person about his interest, and that automatically, clicked. So at the end of the day, you're working with human beings, so
Right.
empathy definitely plays out when you're communicating, especially.
Yeah.
So that prospect really was all, I mean, is in a stage of getting converted into a customer. So definitely
Hmm.
these kind of interactions, personalized interactions help. So basically keep on using dynamic content, keep up coming up with new ideas, do your A/B testings, experiment basically.
Hmm.
Don't shy of experimenting. You never know what will click and what will not. So
Definitely.
we honestly we don't really invest much into using tools that are doing those hyper personalization kind of automated kind of messaging.
Hmm.
We believe in personal touch, and that is what we've been doing, because also we are catering to a niche market which is kind of small. So
Yeah.
yeah, so as far as personalization goes, it's always one to one for us.
So we know that retention is the key aspect for lifecycle marketing. Can you share a few tactics that you have used and it has worked for you to keep customers engaged and loyal even after their initial purchase?
Sure. So, you would agree that retention cannot solely depend on the marketing function. There are
Yes.
multiple things involved.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it could be costing, it could be the experience with the product, it could be
Hmm.
relationship with somebody in the implementation team that is tarnished. So,
Yeah,
taking the onus of retaining this customer 100% can never be on marketing.
right.
But like I said earlier, having the person or the client participate in joint activities like webinars, thought
Hmm.
leadership artifacts, or testimonial videos, or
Right.
I've even seen some companies going out of the way to actually having award ceremonies, where they actually award their customers for various things. So
That's
there are a lot of
brilliant.
things that people keep on doing, and I mean, nothing beyond the gamut of marketing, but yeah, those are some of the things that you can do. I mean, typical marketing, middle of the funnel activities, keep on triggering, be visible, be all constantly
Right.
visible. Consistency is the key. If you're not consistent, then you're out of sight, out of mind.
Of
So
course.
be visible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That brings me to our last question. For customers who have lapsed or disengaged, what re-engagement strategies do you bring in that you have found useful in converting them?
So, like I said earlier, do not give up. Don't
Hmm.
remove them from your communication loop unless they have unsubscribed you from the communication to be received. But don't I mean, remove them from your communication loop, because people keep on changing. The organizations are dynamic today. maybe one leader has decided that they want to go with somebody else, but somebody else may replace this person and may want to continue working with you again.
Right.
So you keep on demonstrating, keep them in loop to demonstrate whatever latest offerings you have for your products and platforms. So yeah, that really can, that are the best ways of winning your customers back. And of course, personalized interactions sometimes, wishing them on their holidays, or wishing them
Mhm.
for your birthdays, or some important life event is also important at times. So go out of the way, think out of the box, and do what you can to stay relevant and stay in business.
Thanks a lot, Madhura, for this interaction. It was clearly very informative, and I'm pretty sure our viewers will find it helpful. If you have liked this episode, then please do subscribe and like our channel. Until next time, Leaders Legacy.